I can share.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to Voices of Courage Asia. We are back on. This is Thursday, right? Today is Thursday.
Yes,
I'm right,
Thursday.
and today is April Fool Day.
It is actually
Maybe-
now that you mentioned.
yeah, I mean, when we were younger, we used to play a lot of pranks, today. But yeah, did you play any pranks on anyone today?
Not at all, because I didn't realize that it is April Fool's Day today. Yeah. But the thing is, we can be a little bit, more candid, a little bit funny today. It's fine.
Yeah. So, by the way, welcome back to Voices of Courage Asia. So, this is our YouTube channel. And today, my co-host is actually Carol Gockel. Yeah, she is a confidence coach as well as a community team leader with Women of Courage Asia, and a business development partner. An associate with the Class Living, right? So, a little bit of intro about this channel for those of you who have um, joining us for the very first time, you know, we are basically using this platform to share our life story of courage, our story of courage, life experiences, strategies, and tips, to inspire and empower you to live a life of purpose and significance. Right. So, based on the Courage Blueprint, which we look into the 9 domains of your life, cultivating 7 critical core values, and through a 3-step process, which I coined it the 3 A's, which all of us are very familiar by now, right? The 3 A's, yeah, which are awareness, attitude, and action. Okay, so we have done pretty much on the blueprint in our earlier episodes. If you have missed it, go watch the replay. All right, and we have covered the core values series as well. And today we are starting a very brand new series, which is called Intentional Living. Okay, taking ownership of your life. Yeah, it's a 4-part series, and Carol will be my co-host for this series. So, Carol, can you introduce a little bit, share with our audience a little bit more about yourself?
Okay, well, thank you, Lilian, and thank you for having me here on Voices of Courage. And well, as Lilian has introduced earlier, I'm a confidence coach, and maybe if you're just wondering what is a confidence coach, well, I mean, for me, it goes way back to my childhood. I wasn't very confident as a child growing up, so all the choices that I made, I wanted some kind of a validation. I wanted to be loved, and I actually lost my self identity. So not having confidence, I made wrong choices in life that led me down to this spiral that ended up, that I was in a 13 years psychologically abusive relationship and 10 years of marriage. So, and having survived that, I wanted to empower more women who have gone through certain adversity, certain trauma, in
Mm.
particular to not having confidence. So I wanted to be able to do that, to support them in their journey of growth, to rediscover their inner confidence. And of course,
Mm.
for me, I'm also trained in marketing, so I combine my skill set in marketing and in visual marketing, in visual branding as well, to help women to actually regain the confidence in terms of in themselves, their appearance, as well as moving forward in their lives, whether it's a career or is it their business.
Wonderful. Yeah, so that's why Carol is partnering with us together, in many projects. Yeah, not just Women of Courage Asia, which is our community, but as well as in other personal development programs, right? Based because she has the expertise in marketing, personal branding, image consultancy as well, right? Yeah. Okay, so I almost say Cheryl.
That's my sister-in-law's name.
Yeah, I have a friend named Cheryl. I have a couple of friends named Cheryl. Yes, Carol. Let's be very intentional because the topic, the series is about intentional living and taking ownership of our lives. So yeah, thanks for sharing a little bit, a glimpse into your life, about how you move from where you were to where you are now, right now, and that is very intentional, right? You
Yes.
took intentional actions, yeah, to actually make your way and grow and overcome so many challenges before you arrive where you are today. And of course, we are still all growing, continuing, continue in our growth and development. So, yeah, there's one question that we want to ask our audience, and that is, where and how, right? We want to share very practical tips here. So where and how uh, did you intentionally, do you intentionally invest in yourself and take ownership of your life? One thing that we talk a lot about is the intentional action is to invest in
Mm.
ourselves, right? Courage to be
Yeah.
you ma. So yeah, so we invest in ourselves. What did you do? Where, which area, how do you do it? Which area are so intentional?
Yeah. Well,
Maybe
okay,
name
the
three,
first, yeah, the
three
three, okay,
areas.
the
Mm,
three intentional. I guess is that, for me, growing up, I mean, for us, it is actually a standard route, right? Which is education, which is academic, intentional academic pursuit. So that, it's always this, this message that you get. You need to study hard. You need to get good grades and you get a degree so that you can have a good job. So that would be the first intentional one. So after leaving
mm-hmm,
secondary school, I make sure that I have made intentional decision to do my diploma, subsequently my degree, so that I can,
mm,
move up the corporate ladder in
mm,
order to be better paid so that I can have a better life according to the rules of what has been passed down from the generations. And then
mm,
subsequently, being in the corporate, then I realized that there are certain technical skill sets that's actually lacking in order for me to proceed further in the corporate world, right?
mm,
Like for example, for promotion, right? Because at the end of the day, you need to constantly upgrade yourself so that you are able to move up the ladder. So technical skills that will be the second one that I make intentional decision throughout my
mm,
life, especially when I was working to
mm,
improve that. Yeah, and then subsequently, then I realized that there comes to a point is I technical skills is there, but then I have that leadership mindset? Do I have what it takes from the side and the heart to move on? And that's where I started to look at intentionally, investing in myself on a mindset shift. And one of
mm,
these mindset shift, this my experience with that was also because of my experience, my abuse experience after going through the divorce. That there's no like, academic or any technical kind of investments that I can make to switch my mind from having been in the depressive state, being in the victim mindset to move
mm,
forward. And that was when I was introduced to the world of personal development through a girlfriend. She said,
mm,
you know what, I didn't want to go and see a psychiatrist because I said I'm not mad, right? I didn't want to go and seek therapy because I didn't think that I need it. I didn't feel that I am in so vulnerable that I need some kind of a therapy. I was just stuck. Just stuck. It's just like where do I move from there? I have no idea. Despite all the academic achievements or the technical achievement that I have under my belt, I didn't know how to move forward. And then that was when I realized, there's actually this thing called coaching, life coaching. And that's where I invested in my very first life coach that helped me with my first mindset breakthrough.
mm.
So these are the three areas: academic first, technical, and then personal investment on mindset breakthrough.
Right, right. Wow. Okay. I mean, that's very valuable sharing there. Yeah, it's quite true. Most of us, especially in Singapore, or I mean, because we grew up here, so especially in Singapore, we all went through that same route, right? The first one that you mentioned, which was the academic, right? Yeah. How was, I know you talk a lot about the mindset part, like, but I'm just curious also, like in the area of academic, right? Were there any challenges that you face uh, in the progress in your educational journey in terms of academics, and what did you do to intentionally overcome them? Yeah.
Well, I mean, definitely, it would be the feelings of lack, because academic wise, I guess it's a process that we have to go through, right? You have to go through a certain process in order to get your degree or diploma, to start working. But then the thing is that it was custom in a sense to look for a job that will give me highest pay. So I wasn't doing
Mm,
something that I really, really love or I'm passionate about. It was like, making a living. So that challenge,
mm,
in terms of the mindset was blocking me. To me, it's like, okay, I have to do this because this is a must, not because I'm passionate
mm,
about. So I was going through the motion like a robot because this is the way. This is how I should be. This is how I was taught to be. So that challenge was, trying to reconcile, my passion and what's my passion, and I had to suppress that, and that wasn't able to come out. In fact, it came out only after I started investing myself, in terms of personal development or mindset change, finding my purpose and
mm.
passion. Yeah,
So did you actually go into a job? Did you get a job like all most people do? They study this subject and then they work in this that industry. Did that happen for you? Or
yeah.
you
Well,
study a certain subject and then you work something totally different?
yeah, it was
What
totally
was it
different.
like for you?
I started out because I did marketing. So I came out doing marketing because that was actually what my family felt that I should be doing. They feel
Okay.
that,
Oh.
marketing, because of my personality, I'm personable, I'm approachable, then this should be the
Mm,
area. But I have some interest, but at that time I didn't feel that this is the area that I want to pursue. Not working
mm.
with a corporation. I actually had the idea of working for myself, but I didn't have the skill set to do so. So I started that, and then
That's where
subsequently
you
I move on. Yeah, and then that's
yeah.
where
So
I
that's where you
try
started
to
to
find out.
invest in your skill sets lah.
Yes, in the
Yeah.
skill set to find out which are the areas that I can pursue. Because in the past, when you were younger, your parents are the ones supporting you financially to all the. So you need to listen to what they have to say, what their opinions were. But then when I started working, then I realized that, okay, you know what? Then I am passionate in certain areas. I'm interested in certain other areas. So I'm making my own kits. Then I can pay for it, to upgrade my technical skills and to move on from there. And
Mm,
of course, as well as, understanding, once you're in the corporate world, understanding working with a team, then how do I grow myself in order to, continue having this job but not staying stagnant. I want to move up the ladder.
mm.
So
Right.
technically I need to invest in the skill set. Of course, also some advice as well. There's some certain
Mm,
areas that I need to spruce up from the management, from my line manager at that time. So you will need this. You want to go to the management round, you want to get promoted, you need to take this,
mm.
this, 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 this. Yeah, you need to have presentation skills. You need to
Yeah.
invest in
Yeah.
leadership, understanding how you actually run a team, so that when you become a manager.
Yeah, so the whole list of skill sets, right? Yeah, that you,
Yeah, a
yeah.
whole
So
list.
what you went through, yeah. Also what you went through, right? Is it sounds like actually quite typical for most of us. Most of
Yes.
us, our generation probably,
Yeah.
um, or a generation earlier, this is the sequence. This is the
Mm.
sequence. Invest in your academics, and then invest in your skill sets, and then you realize that, oh, actually you need to invest in your mindset.
Yeah.
So that is the sequence that we can see, most of us gone through this
Mm.
sequence in our generation or earlier generations. But because of after what we went through, I realized that what this is something that I noticed, that hey, actually, why not we invest in our mindset first, yeah, which I think I read a lot about I read a lot from John Maxwell's books and teaching. I hear a lot of his podcasts and live digital live streamings. So he talked about the three areas to invest in ourselves very intentionally. Right. Before we go there, we have someone here to say hi. Hi, Brenda.
Hi,
Hello.
Brenda.
Yeah. So, okay, let me just take this off first. Okay. Yeah, so intentionally, in the area of mindset, there are three areas that John Maxwell mentioned, and I find that is quite pretty aligned with what I've been focusing on intentionally
Mm.
as well. Yeah, so which is why um, I want to start our next generation with a different sequence, because our
Mm.
generation sequence is like similar to you. Yeah, so we learn, and then I hope that the next generation is we start with a different sequence. right?
Mm.
So for him, he mentioned that number one is invest in your mind. Yeah. So we know social media, the next generation, the generation after us, social media is like they are born into the digital world, into the social media, the technology world, and everything is just at the touch of their fingers. And screen time has like taken over our world. And with the pandemic coming in, screen time has doubled, tripled, or even
Yeah.
yeah, multiply exponentially, right? Yeah. But the question is, what kind of content are we consuming? What kind of
Mm.
content are our children, and even ourselves, are consuming, are feeding, are investing into our mind?
Mm.
Nothing wrong with watching. I'm not saying that you can't watch Netflix or K drama and all that. Yeah, you can take time off to just for entertainment and all that, but to like constantly glued to the screen, I think that is pretty unhealthy.
Oh, very, very unhealthy. Because you
Yeah,
end up, not thinking at all.
yeah, and he talked about, like, he shared that if you want to consume content, be intentional in what kind of content are you going to be consuming. Are you feeding your mind, right?
Mm.
So he actually gave some tips lah, that we want to have, because to grow effectively, right, we want to have some tools in our toolbox. Yeah, like what we do with our coaching, right? We need to have some tools, right? Otherwise the growth will can become a challenge, a very challenging journey. He used this illustration called the home improvement. I thought you and I, we were in this industry before, in the home
Yes.
improvement and all that. So I think we can relate very well to that. If we were to improve our home or refurnish our home, now if we can DIY a lot of stuff, right?
Yeah.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
save costs and all that. We can DIY a lot of stuff, out of interest as well. But let's say, for example, you need to retile the wall, and I'm not skillful in retiling the wall, right? Yeah, exactly how much of the ingredients to mix and all that, right? Yeah, so we're gonna create a mess. And instead of it's not going to be effective. It's going to take a longer time, to get the job done. And
Mm.
like I said, we could create a mess out of it. So
Yeah.
same thing for our personal growth. We want to have certain skills, certain tools, right, to equip us. Which is why we are talking, which is why we're having this
Mm.
channel, which is why we're having this conversation, to share the different strategies and tools that work for us, and hopefully it will work for our audience. So both of us and a lot of our leaders, we all invested in the area of our mind. We talk a lot about investing in our mind. Yeah. So what are some of the before I share what John Maxwell recommended, the must-have tools in investing our mind. What were some of your tools in investing in your mind? What did you do to invest in your mind?
Well, first is like understanding who I am first. And to be very frank, when I did this coaching, right, the
Mm,
very first coach my friend recommended me to, she opened up my eyes in terms of the Enneagram personality, and that was my very first trial on personality. Then I realized so much about myself that I didn't know, and
mm,
having that awareness, knowing who I am, why I function the way I function, and then what makes me tick and what kind
mm,
of like makes peeve me off. Then with that, I'm able to control my emotions. Then I realize that certain things, why certain things peeve me, I get peeved off by certain things. Then I was able to control. Then I'm able
mm,
to relate to people better, communicate better with my co-workers. So that was a
mm.
huge plus for me. Yeah, so
Right. So
that was the
that's
very first one.
okay. So through the knowledge, gaining knowledge in this tool, that personality typing tool, through your
Mm.
mentor, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's a very good area that you want. The audience want to be intentional about. You can get seek out mentors in your life. that can feed you with valuable, effective and powerful tools to help you grow in your journey of personal discovery. So he actually named down 5 tools. I think this
Mm.
is valuable. Wow. I
Yeah.
think everyone pay attention.
I'm
Very
numbing. I'm
valuable.
numbing in.
Yeah. So I noted it down. Number one, he said these are some of the must tools, that must have tools that will help us grow easier, and actually also can accelerate the process. Yeah, that's number one. Good books. Good books. You want to have books. You want to read books. Like just now you mentioned mentors. In fact, we can have mentors through books as well,
Mm-hmm.
right? And like John Maxwell, he's one of my mentor because I read so many of his books, right? I consume so much of his content. Like Joyce Meyer, Lisa Bevere, who else? Dr. Miles Monroe, Dr. Caroline Leaf. Yeah, the list goes on. Dr. Robbie Sonderegger. Yeah, um, those doctor that I mentioned, they are neurologists and psychologists, background experts lah. Yeah, so books, and gain that's one way. Yeah. So when I read, right, okay, go a little bit deeper here, because we want to really share valuable tips here.
Mm,
Okay,
correct.
don't just talk, but really something that our audience can apply. How do you do your reading usually?
Oh, well, I set aside time, quiet time for me to do my reading. The things that
Mm,
reading has become part of my day-to-day practice. In the morning when I wake up, I have some time to myself, and then I sit down and then to make intentional reading. I mean, for
mm,
my faith, I will read the Bible first of all, God's
mm,
word, and then after that, I have intentional reading in terms of what are the what's available
mm,
within the sphere
mm.
of our industry as well. So just some information. I
Mm.
don't really read the news that much. I don't really like, no, not
Most
at
of
all.
it are bad news.
Yeah. I mean, it's having some understanding what's happening in the world, but end of the
Mm,
day is reading in terms of like gaining more. The things I do realize that I sometimes I actually go back to certain books that I like, and each time when I go back, my mindset is a bit different and I get
mm,
more value out of it. So
right.
one of the authors that really changed my mind would be Robert Kiyosaki. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So and then my first book that I read that was in back in 1997 98. That was his
Mm,
very first book. Yeah. Rich Dad Poor Dad. That
yep.
opened my heart because I was too young to really understand what that really means. Then
Mm,
years later, when I revisited the book, my mind actually kind of like opened up even further.
mm.
So yeah, so that would be one of
I
the
think
quotes.
that's a very good point there about
Mm,
going back to read the book again,
yeah.
because usually the first round we read, right, what jumps out for me is, I like to highlight and underline my books, the books. So it's very messy. So I will underline and highlight. Yeah, that's the first round. And then when I go back to the book again, the second round, I zoom in into those areas that I highlight.
Mm.
Yeah. And then, I will digest a bit more and, like chew on it more. Yeah. To get more out from it. Born in the year of the cow. Got sick stomach. I would like to chew. Yeah. So, I mean, jokes aside, I think that's a good tip. I hope our
Mm.
audience can take away. Don't
Yes.
just read the book one time and then just chuck it one side. Yeah, go back to the book again and again if you have to. Most of my books, they become my resources.
Mm.
Yeah,
Correct.
so they are my coaching resources. And references and all that. So yeah, highlight. Yeah. Some people don't like to mess up their book, right?
Yeah,
But
I'm
for
one
me,
of
it's
those.
just
I don't highlight. Yeah,
yeah,
but
I
the thing is,
highlight and underline.
for me, I would actually, like kind of like unconsciously, kind of like take mental snapshots of
Mm,
some phrases, and then when there's need to, I will go to my bookshelf and just pull out and then just to read, and then this will form some of those quotes that I actually
mm.
push out, in order to encourage myself, on a day-to-day basis.
Mm. If you don't like to highlight or you would like to keep your book neat and tidy and all that, it's fine. You can type it out.
Mm,
Extra work. You type it out or write it out, on a notebook, right? What are the phrases and paragraphs that catches your attention? So this
mm,
is studying, rather than
Yeah.
just reading it. Yeah, so you want to consume, you want to feed your mind. Okay, first tip was first must have is really good books. Okay, so we can, yeah, connect with us. We can share with you, what books we read, and we have a whole community of leaders that read lots and lots of books. Yeah, so no lack of titles of recommendations in terms
Mm.
of um, reading, investing in yourself through reading good books. Okay, number two, I won't be able to share all today, so we will save it, in our next episode. We have 4-part series here. Yeah, so maybe just share one more, and that is a good listen.
Mm.
Besides the reading the books, he also recommended the next must have is listen.
Yeah.
So what sort of listen? Podcasts, yeah, or the videos, YouTube, and all the digital live streamings. Yeah, again, same thing. I watch a lot of all these mentors and leaders out there that give very good sharing of their experiences. Yeah, which is why we are doing this as well. It's one form of modeling after our mentors and leaders, and to share our experiences based on specifically, to women, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
women and mothers. Yeah, who are some of the names? Who are some of the people that you watch? In terms of
Oh,
listening, be it
listening.
podcasts and yeah.
Les Brown, first of all. Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
he has impacted my life very, very for a very, very long time, in fact. So,
Mm,
with I am glad for the invention of YouTube.
mm,
Yeah, so Les Brown is the one that I listen. I mean, in the recent years, I also listen to and watch the videos of Simon Sinek. And
mm.
then
Yeah.
also, my personal favorite right now, Brene Brown.
Ah. Yeah. Yeah. Those are names that I watch as well. So yeah, we are in the same mentoring community. Right. Okay. So I'll save the rest for our next episode. What are some of the must-have tools that can help us to grow and even accelerate the process? So the first area what we want to invest in ourselves is our mind. Now the
Mm,
second area he mentioned is our heart. Mm, our heart. We talk a lot about our thinking, feeling, and choosing, right? So that's why I say it's in line with what I'm practicing. The next one is our heart. Yeah. um there is a quote in the Bible that say, to guard your heart, keep vigilant, watch over your heart. That's where life starts. Yeah, so a lot of issues comes out from the heart, and the
yes.
heart gets discouraged easily. Yeah, so we need to really like guard our hearts, and especially during this time of pandemic, the COVID period and all that, all of us went through so much, right? We heard so many stories of loss, yeah, and challenges that friends and relatives and people that we know they are going through. So it can get very discouraging. Yeah, so very important that we guard our hearts. So and like just now you mentioned social media. Sometimes it's kind of a dilemma lah, whether to engage in social media, because social media a lot of judgment as well. A
Yes.
lot of judgment, a lot of disagreement, a lot of attacks. Yeah, so guard your heart and choose to filter. You don't have to absorb everything that the social media is throwing at you if you are frequently on social media. So important to guard your heart. How about you, Carol? Share about how do you guard your heart? For me, is like just now you mentioned reading the Bible. I mean, for me also reading the Bible, the Word of God does help in guarding my heart. Yeah,
Mm.
spending time in prayer. Yeah. How about yourself?
One of the way to guard my heart that I do, there was a period of time that I do every day. Now it's once every 2 days. Or is
Mm,
journaling my what I'm feeling. That is
yes.
important because we have a lot of. I mean, for me, I have a lot of this negative feeling from time to time because being stretched as a mom, as a working mom, without having not having help at home. And so, sometimes I get negative feelings. I have anger towards my husband, anger towards myself because of being perfectionist. I'm unable to,
Mm,
to actually hit a certain benchmark that I set for myself, being angry at my children for not listening. So when I
Mm,
have that negativity, that affects my heart, because it means that I am actually not having enough love to give, not
mm,
loving myself enough, not loving my husband, not loving my children, my family enough. So I want to be able to switch that mindset. So I would note down, this is the negative feeling that I'm feeling right now, and then
right.
recognize it, register it, and then make
Mm,
intentional action
mm,
to switch that mindset and reframe in order
yes.
to feel positive. So this is how I'm guarding my heart, so that I don't let myself go down this downward spiral.
Yes, wonderful, wonderful. I love that. Yeah. So, having a thankful heart, writing, practicing, cultivating a habit of gratitude journal, very,
Yes.
very important, which we advocate so much, right? We do not learn by experiences. We learn by reflecting on our experiences. Yeah, that's the culture of our community. So we do a lot of reflection. Yeah, catching our thoughts and emotions, and reframe them if they are negative ones. Yeah, so that's a fantastic way to do that, to guard our hearts, right? So I think, yeah, find a practice for our audience. Find a practice, cultivate a habit, whichever works for you. All right, be it prayer, reading the word, or doing journals, or even declaring and repeating the values that you have for your life, so that you remind you of what you stand for. Right. Yeah. What you stand for. Like for us, it will be class, right? Our core values, courage, love, authenticity, stewardship, and significance, as well as commitment and responsibility. So it reminds us of what we stand for. Yeah. And whatever works for you, whatever works for you. Most important is you must have that kind of practice to guard your heart. Okay, so yeah, that's a great tip about how you can invest in yourself in the area of your heart and how you do it. We have another friend here, Jerina, hi. She's one of my coaching course mate. Yeah, so from Thailand, right? She says, keep doing what you love and great content, Lillian. Thank you, Jerina. We should catch up again soon. And Brenda has more to say. Let's see what Brenda say. Out of the abundance of our hearts, where mouth speaks, yes, guard our hearts. Words spoken from our renewed mind carries weight. To kill or refill love. Wow.
Very
Yeah.
profound, Brenda.
Yes,
Words
words
of
are
wisdom.
very, very powerful. Yes, words. If we don't guard and choose the choice of our words wisely, yeah, once it goes out, it either kill or it love, and build. It either tear down or build up.
Hmm.
Yes, Brenda. Yes, thank you for that. Thank you for that word of advice as well. Okay, last but not least. All right, let's wrap this up. Last but not least is the third one the third area to invest intentionally is in the area of relationships. Relationships. Yeah. Wow. What are your thoughts about intentionally investing in relationships in our lives? How do you do that? How do you
Well,
intentionally invest in that?
for me is actually giving the language of love to my
Mm.
husband. Yeah, because
Ah.
my language of love is heart, is touch.
Oh,
So
yeah, yeah, she's a hugger. She's
I
a
am a
hugger.
hugger. So if you see me, just
She's a
come by
hugger.
and say hi. I'm hot. I don't have any germs, but do yes, do come by, say hello, give me a hug. I'm a hugger. So that's what I do. I develop cultivate the relationship with my children and my husband. Through touch, and
Mm,
also understanding what is his love language, and then I will give it back to
mm,
him as well. Words of affirmation, which is very important. So that is how I develop the relationship, and lots of
mm,
like verbal communication. It is actually, to be frank, it is after through going through all this personal development, investing in my personal development, that I was able to have a better relationship with my parents. In the past, it was really, really bad. So
mm,
this really, really struck a chord, because that helped me to have a more open understanding, and being
mm,
able to open myself and communicate better my relationship. And end
mm,
of the day also, that because if it comes, that's actually the home front. But then when it comes to the work front, right?
Mm-hmm.
Building relationship is actually building a relationship with your customer,
Mm.
understanding what they want. So you're able to serve them, and give them what they really require. And with this relationship, you're able to, in fact, take your business or even
Mm.
your career to the next level. Because end of the day, wherever you want to go, you are unable to just go on your own. It is the relationship that you cultivate and the connections that you have made along the journey that enables you to go towards your final destination.
Yeah. So I mean, thanks for sharing that. Relationship is definitely the core area in our lives that we do not want to neglect. That we really want to be intentionally investing. So I'm guilty of neglecting people in my lives. Yeah, be it our busyness or laziness. Yeah, but that is not an excuse. So we continue to remind each other to spend time, quality time, like what Carol mentioned. Get to know what are the love language, what are your the people that you care about, that you love, what are their love languages, so that you can communicate with them at that level where they feel loved, right, and appreciated. And then also understanding their personalities, so that we can communicate in a way that they are able to receive and not fight with you and confront and challenge you, right? Yeah, so that these are all tools and strategies that we are going to share and equip you during our boot camp, right?
Mm.
Our Transform with Courage boot camp, which is why we are, we took a lot of effort and time to bring together all these, strategies and experiences and tools together in this 3 days boot camp called the Transform with Courage at Changi Cove. Yeah, so Carol and myself, we will be sharing a lot of our um, uh, based on our expertise, all right, based on what we are focused in the area of mindset and courage and confidence and personal branding. And we also have other uh, trainers and facilitators, right? Yeah, we have Sari Marsden. Yeah, she's a leadership and performance coach and Nike trainer, and she's going to talk about body presence, right? And then Natalie is also in similar field. She's going to lead us in the movements, right? Yeah,
Mm.
she's going to talk about. She's going to share her blueprint as well, right? Yeah.
Yes.
And then we have Lynette and Nicole as well, right? Their expertise in business etiquette and professional business etiquette, as well as Nicole is a holistic and wellness coach. So we try to cover as many areas as possible for women, because this is custom tailored for women by women
Mm.
only. So our every activity, everything that we are sharing is very, very women focused. Yeah. So, Carol, you want to add anything about the boot camp? We work very hard for this, and yeah, share your thoughts. What is intentional?
What is
What
intentional?
is so
Well, the thing
intentional? What is so intentional about this boot camp?
Well, this is something that has been many years in the making for both Lillian and myself. And we actually wanted to roll this bootcamp out last year, but due to the pandemic, we can only roll it out this year. So it's just years in the making, based on our experiences, as well as all the other coaches' experiences, all other facilitators' experiences, and also their skill set all coming together. And the advantage, I would say that the added bonus and the benefit is we have this support system, because a lot of
Mm,
what you may experience in all the personal development program is like it's like once the program is completed, you complete. And then for
mm,
me in the past, I always have this being in a limbo. Okay, now I completed this, like, so what's next? Who can I reach
mm.
out to? How
Yep.
how am I going to track my success? It's like, what
Mm,
about accountability? Who's going to help me with that? Who's going to show me how to do it? Or maybe
yep.
help to guide me towards the path if I go off course. So I
Mm,
didn't have that, and I believe, Lilian, you shared with me at the same time that you didn't have that too. So that was why we wanted this to be a whole full support. So after the whole
yes.
program for the weekend, we have this support to guide you through it and to be your cheerleader as well, to lead you towards your intended destination, which is the next action, which is actually your goal. And then from there, continue with the journey as a group. Because alone, you can go a certain distance, but together we are a force that we can take longer, bigger distance and creating better impact.
Yeah. So yes, Carol hit the nail at the head because we are very intentional. We went through different programs, and we find that what is lacking, where are the gaps. That's why when we design this program together, we make sure that those gaps are being addressed. Yeah, which is why the post boot camp support and coaching is very very intentional. Yeah, we want to see you uh, achieving your goals, applying those everything that all the awareness and about yourself, discovering yourself, exploring yourself, all the aha moments, all the strategies shared in the boot camp, in the activities. We want to ensure that you apply them where the rubber hits the road, right? When you get out of the program, you go into the real world, you want to apply it and you want to get things done, you want to see the results. Yeah, so the post bootcamp support and coaching is very very intentional, right? So to help you to take ownership of your life and see the change that you want for your life. Okay, so yeah, so for this episode, because we only have very limited time, we can go on, I know, but we really got to wrap this up. And don't worry, we'll come back again next Thursday, right? Every Thursday we'll be here. This is a 4-part series. And next episode, who are we having?
Okay, we're having
Uh,
it on Tuesdays and Thursday. In fact, the
oh,
next
Tuesday,
episode
sorry,
is next
Tuesday,
week on Tuesday on the 6th of April.
6th of April.
Yes, 6th
Yes,
of
Tuesday,
April.
every Tuesday. Yeah.
Yeah, Tuesdays
So
and Thursday for the next few weeks actually.
No, no. Thursday,
Yeah.
Thursday is not. Thursday is another
So right
program,
now,
another
based on
series.
based on
Every
the
Tuesday.
schedule, yeah,
Every
based on
Tuesday.
the
Yeah,
okay, because right
it's
now
a
from
Tuesday.
what I see, Tuesday
Mm,
we have Natalie, and then on
mm.
the Thursday on the 8th we have Nicole, and then the following week Tuesday on the 13th we have Lynette.
Oh, okay. Sorry,
Yeah.
my bad. Yeah, you. I'm already in the process of planning for another series. Yeah, with our upcoming author Juslin. Yeah, she's going to talk about standing tall and overcoming all, and I'm very excited about that as well. So yes, you see, very intentional.
Yes.
Every series is very intentional. Thanks for reminding me, correcting me, Carol. Yes, you're right. 4-part series every Tuesday and Thursday. Yeah, 12:30. Okay, so yeah, talking about support, we have our community of support that you don't want to miss, that you really want to get planted and get to know us, right? So yes, Carol, share a little bit about our Women of Courage Asia. Okay, let me change this. Yeah, Women of Courage Asia um, monthly empowerment meeting.
Yes, our monthly empowerment meeting. So our monthly empowerment meeting happens on the last Tuesday of every month. For the month of March, because it's our Women of Courage Asia anniversary, so we had 7 hours, live stream on the 6th of March, and
Champion.
in conjunction with International Women's Day. So the next monthly empowerment meeting will be happening in the month of April. Today is the first day of April, so it will be on the 27th of April. 27th of April,
Yes.
that's the last Tuesday of this month. And we are going to be doing hybrid. Hybrid means that
Yes.
we will have this on site. And the location will be my chance office
Yeah.
headquarters at Marina Square. And at the same
Correct.
time, we are also live streaming all of this via Zoom, for those who are unable to join us on site due to social distancing measures. So for those who are actually watching us right now, or if you're watching the replay and you are not from Singapore, you can join us on Zoom.
Yes. You won't miss out. Yeah.
So
Yes.
all you needed to
So
do is just to register. You can see the link right now, womenofcourage.asia, to register if you are coming on site or if you are joining us at Zoom, so that we will be able to forward the details for you to come on. So on our monthly empowerment meeting, we always have two segments. We will have one sharing of expertise, and then
Mm.
subsequently sharing of the story of courage. So this time round for the month of April is a very, very special one for us because we are working with our community partner Perspective with three amazing women financial planning advisors. They are very, very good in terms of planning for women in particular, because for us we need to know our relationship with money. They'll be sharing with us what is our personality type in terms of us, you know uh, uh, our relationship with money is important, and then
Yes.
also how to plan forward for ourselves. This is not about investing in property, investment in some endowment fund, or buying insurance to safeguard yourself. Yes, these are all part of planning forward, but all about us as a woman. How do we plan for ourselves, not just for our families? It's very, very important for us to know, and they will be sharing a lot of insights on what are the steps that we can take, and then to actually overcome our negative beliefs when it comes to money and it comes to handling our finances, which is important. All of you should come and enjoy
Yeah.
this.
Yeah, first step is always awareness. Yeah, if you
Mm-hmm.
if you do not know, how are you going to actually make the change if you don't even know what is required to change? Right. And yes, they are powerful team. Last year or the very first year in 2019, or first year, they came and played the Rich Dad Poor Dad cash flow games.
Cash
Yeah,
flow
it was
game,
so
yes.
fun. Yeah, we had so much fun playing the cash flow game, the Rich Dad Poor Dad cash flow board games. Yeah, and also just a reminder, if you have noticed, yeah, we are wearing our Women of Courage scarf. Yeah, custom design scarf. So different ways of wearing it. And Carol will be showing us the many ways, to dress yourself up confidently, right, at the boot camp as well. Yeah. And also you can support us because it's Women of Courage Asia is self-funded community. So we do need your support. You can support us through the purchase of the bundle, the book and scarf bundle, right? The Voices of Courage Asia, as Voices of Courage, as well as Women of Courage book. Together, total of 40 over women's stories and challenges that you can learn from. Yeah. And then, of course, a beautiful scarf designed by our volunteer Karen. Yeah, based on the concept, the Japanese ancient concept of kintsugi, right?
Yes. Yeah, and that
Yeah,
itself, I think we can share a little bit more in our next
next episode.
episode.
Mm.
What kintsugi is all about.
Yes, yes. So click on the link, right? Womenofcourage.asia. Register for our monthly empowerment meeting. Download a copy of how you can support us through the purchase of the bundles. Okay, so we see you next Tuesday. Right. Thank you for watching. Bye.
Bye.